Next up on copycat.com, pork loin braised in hard cider in the Instant Pot. Hi everyone, this is Stephanie Manley with copycat.com. Today I'm going to show you how to make a hard cider braised pork loin. And I have a whole pork loin right here. Now all of this isn't going to go in the Instant Pot, but what I wanted to do is show you how to prepare a pork loin and how you can get a couple of different cuts out of here and really save yourself some money. So these often go on sale for about $1.99 a pound or so, or at least they do around me. I live in Houston, Texas. And this last week at Costco, this was $1.99 a pound, and then they took off like $5 off of the whole pack. So all of this meat was, I don't know, probably like 12, 13 bucks. So great deals. So you wanna know what you can do with it. So this is the sirloin end of the pork loin. Now this shouldn't be confused with the pork tenderloin, but it's just the pork loin. We're actually gonna make 2 roasts out of this, and then you can make some loin chops. So my Instant Pot I know is probably about this big, so I am just going to chop these into 2 different roasts right here. So this is a roast right here, and this is the rib side of the pork loin, and I'm also just going to chop off another piece of roast like this. So you can get 2 roasts out of here, and these, if you've ever bought the boneless pork chops, that's what you have right here. You can see that this is a really nice, very lean pork chop. So whatever you want to do right here, you can kind of just cut these up and serve these as pork chops. Simple, just bread them, and you can pound them thin and cook them like that. In Missouri, there is this fantastic pork loin sandwich that I've had, and they take the center loin and then they cut it horizontally, then pound it out thin, and you have this big crispy pork cutlet that they actually serve like on 2 sandwich buns. So this is a great way to use this. So again, lots of different cuts you can use out of the pork loin. So let's go ahead and get started on this recipe. So this recipe has, we are gonna use one of our pork roasts right here. We're gonna use onions right here. I just have 1 large white onion chopped here. I'm gonna use a little bit of garlic right here. Then I'm gonna use about 1.5 cups of hard cider right here, and it's gonna braise in there, and we have salt and pepper. So I will show you how to cook that. So the first thing we're gonna do for the Instant Pot is we're gonna heat a couple tablespoons of oil in here. I'm just using just a very neutral flavored oil. I can't remember if this is canola or corn oil. So we're gonna let this get hot, then we're going to go ahead and saute our onions and our garlic together. So this recipe is gonna take 1.5 cups of hard cider. So I'm gonna go ahead and measure that out and let it get flat. If you don't wanna use hard cider, you could use apple juice if you like, or apple cider. It's completely your choice. The oil is heated up enough, so I'm gonna add in my onions. I'm gonna add in a pinch of salt with the onions just because I want them to release some of the water. You'll get a much better caramelized flavor. And I'm gonna add in a couple tablespoons of garlic. And we're just gonna cook these up until they become translucent. So while my onions are sauteing, I wanna be sure and liberally season this roast with salt and pepper. So I'm just gonna sprinkle on lots of salt and pepper here. Next thing I want to do is I want to go ahead and try to sear off this roast just a little bit. So I'm just going to put it on the side and let it sit in there for a couple minutes on each side. And when we get done, we'll add in the hard cider and we'll start the cooking. So my roast has been browning. I've turned it on all sides. Next thing I'm going to do is simply add my hard cider. We're gonna put the lid on and we're gonna pressure cook this for 55 minutes on high. So we will come back after we have done a quick release on this. And that's where, when the time's up, you just push the valve over to let it vent, and we'll show you what this looks like. So I hope you enjoyed this recipe, and be sure to subscribe here on my channel on YouTube. I have a whole Instant Pot playlist, so there's lots of great recipes for you to try. So I'm gonna go ahead and try just a little bit of this pork roast right here. Very nice and flavorful. It's very moist. You can catch just a little bit of the flavor of the onions. It tastes really nice. I hope you give this recipe a try soon. Thanks for watching.